Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my weekly review.
Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here, meeting my icon, Catherine Isabel here.
Across the streams of hopes and dreams where things are really not. Come along if you can. Come along if you dare.
Have a good one. Cheers, guys.
Side of your mind, but please realize you'll probably be surprised.
Who's it from?
It doesn't say.
You found him.
Chucky's my friend till the end. Hey, wanna play? Can't we sleep in with you tonight?
It's only a storm. Good night, baby. Sweet dreams.
Don't forget Chucky.
It's a doll. What's the worst that can happen, huh? It's time to play.
Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you two movie reviews, giving my general thoughts on both Curse of Chucky, which came out in 2013, as well as Cult of Chucky, which came out just this past year in 2017.
I was 6. My babysitter was murdered.
And they never caught him?
Justice was done.
Wanna play?
Mika, the murders were real.
Chucky never was.
That's right. He was a fantasy, a delusion.
Are you feeling better now?
I don't blame you for being afraid. I was very ill.
Chucky told me. He's coming for you.
It's important that we all explore it together as a group. I think I have something that will help. Whoa.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
First, he'll kill each and every one of you in the most horrible ways you can imagine. And then he'll kill me too.
Come to mommy. Oh, come.
Are you afraid of the truth?
Terrified. You should be too.
Night night. And they call me sick? Wait a minute, there's two of them?
He'll kill us all!
A true classic never goes out of style.
So yeah, continuing my Chucky Child's Play videos, we're going to be talking about the latest two, the Call of Chucky being the latest one as of right now, but with a TV show possibly in the works, as well as feature films still to drop periodically from what I know. This is kind of it, until something comes to fruition from either of those ends. And I've been meaning to watch other horror movies, but Chucky has just got my attention and kept it. So I basically decided, I'm going to need to just watch these movies all the way through before I can focus on anything else, because I may have been very, very late to the game, but I gotta say, Chucky and the Child's Play Chucky franchise in general is now one of my favorites for sure. I didn't really expect it. I mean, I loved Jason, Freddy for years. I like Michael Myers' Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Leatherface, but I gotta say, Chucky's really, really earned his spot for me now. I think Freddy and Jason are still my favorites, but I think Chucky's right after that, honestly. I think I do like him more than Leatherface and Michael Myers at this point, personally. And there are movies in this franchise I actually like more than some and all the other ones. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Chucky at this point, so I was eager to see the two newest films. I know it's a little bit unconventional and maybe a little bit unprofessional to talk about both of them in the same video, but they're pretty interconnected storylines, so I figured it would make sense, and it just would work better just fitting it all into one video. Because I'm already behind in some of my TV reviews this week as well. But yeah, Curse of Chucky. In ways, it sort of reminds me of what Bride of Chucky kind of did for the franchise, I suppose. As I said in my review of that, it shook things up, it changed it a little bit, changed the formula, the kind of the shtick of the franchise, so to speak. And Curse of Chucky, I think it did something similar. I have the Blu-ray here. I also have the Blu-ray for I'm going to be getting the Blu-ray for Call of Chucky, but everywhere I go, they only have the DVD, so I'm going to have to order it, but I will get that eventually. But yeah, I have the Curse of Chucky DVD here. Blu-ray, excuse me. But yeah, like I said, it did something for the franchise like Bride of Chucky, but in a different way. It's kind of a way of rejuvenating it, or keeping sort of energy with it, I guess, because Bride of Chucky sort of made into more of a comedic type of thing, but Curse of Chucky really took it back to its roots. Kind of had more of a especially a style of the first two films, I think, which some should appreciate. It's sort of well, let me explain to you the story real quick, or at least read a little synopsis here. Let's see. Okay, yeah, it's 9 years after Seed of Chucky. At least I believe it is. Just give me a second here to make sure I got things set. Yep, 9 years after Seed of Chucky. Alright. Yeah, out for revenge, Chucky, the killer doll, infiltrates the family of a woman, her sister, and her young niece. So yeah, Curse of Chucky. I liked quite a bit. Now, like I said, it sort of has a style more so of the first two films. Definitely different than what Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky were. Both films I really liked. I loved Bride of Chucky. I still got some enjoyment out of Seed, but Seed might be my least favorite so far, but that's honestly not that big of a bashing either, because I did kind of like Seed too. Like I said, I've just been really enjoying the whole series. But yeah, Curse of Chucky, like I said, is more of a return to its roots, excuse me. It's almost 4 in the morning. Why am I doing a video at 4 in the morning? I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I went back and watched some reviews of Curse of Chucky when it first came out. Generally I think the fan base they're going for liked it. Don Mancini, I watched videos with the guy, interviews with him and stuff like that. He really has a passion for the character, and I'm glad that he's kind of the one running things, these past few years, or the past while, really. Because he just seems to really enjoy, making Chucky films, so. I'm sorry, the camera is unfocused right now. But yeah, anyway, it's like I said, it takes it back to its roots, more the style of the first two films. Especially with how they build a story, and that's especially akin to the first film, where we don't really see Chucky go out right away. We see more of a suspense and kind of build up. to him going full on Chucky, or at least we see a murder off screen, and then you see the body, and then you just see Chucky with his kind of default good guy doll face, just sitting some distance away. Which I kind of appreciated, the throwback to that kind of stuff. I appreciated sort of the guy taking the time and way of trying to make it more of that kind of flick again. But I was looking at some reviews from when it first came out, and there were a couple people that seemed bored by it. 40 minutes or so in, and you haven't seen Chucky go apeshit yet. Which I kind of get, because we're how many films deep into this franchise now. We know what Chucky's like, we know what he can do, so why act like we haven't seen him before? That is a decent argument, but I just think Don Mancini and the others, they just wanted to sort of take more time with the film and make it more of a film, instead of just going balls out into what we love seeing Chucky do. And we get that in the movie. We get enough Chucky for sure. And I know I haven't talked about Call of Chucky much yet, but I do want to say right off the bat that Fiona Dourif, she's the main protagonist of both of these films as Nika. She may have a connection to Charles Lee Ray in the past. I'm not going to go over every plot detail in these movies. We get a little bit more background on Charles Lee Ray, which I've seen one review say it makes him seem a little more like a mean-spirited killer instead of some more purely entertaining one. But he kind of is what he is. He's a serial killer. So what he did to Nika's mother and stuff, just really shows what an evil person he really is. Sort of takes away some of the lightness that we've seen from him in Bride and Seed. But yet he's still an entertaining killer, so we know him as he is. But yeah, I gotta say, Fiona Dourif, Brad Dourif's daughter, I think she did a really good job in both films. I was actually kind of impressed by her. I thought she gave a good performance. I wanted to root for her if I didn't like Chucky so much. And I got an announcement on this coming up soon, but I'm probably going to the Flashback Horror Weekend event in Chicago this year. I went last year where I met Catherine Isabel and everything like that. But this year they got Brad Dourif, Fiona Dourif, and a bunch of other Child's Play cast members. And I really can't wait to have the chance to see all of them. And Fiona Dourif, like I said, she's really good in both of these films. I think she's probably the best lead we've had, at least since the initial, Andy thing in the first two films. But yeah, I appreciate what Curse of Chucky tried to do. Both of these films are probably somewhat in the middle. I still think Child's Play 2 and Bride of Chucky might be my favorites of the franchise, but these are probably right under that. I think I did kind of prefer both of these films to Seed by a bit, and I have to watch the original film again. My girlfriend hasn't seen any Chucky movies, so I'm probably going to watch that again and gauge what I think of that from the start. At least I sort of refresh my mind. But I think these are both very serviceable entries and enjoyable flicks for fans of the character. And while I do find Curse of Chucky to be a more well-made film, just because it takes a little bit more time with things, and I personally didn't get bored with it. I appreciate the filmmaking. There are some unnecessary, little subplots in Curse of Chucky, I guess. Like there's this, couple, Fiona Dourif's, Nika's sister. They have this nanny, this live-in nanny, and it turns out the sister is having an affair with her behind her husband's back, who also has an attraction to the nanny. So that part was alright, but both these movies are only like 80-some minutes, so it still felt pretty short and sweet, both of them. Now Chucky, the doll itself, he looks, pretty much as good as ever, although part of me sometimes thinks with both these two newer films, once in a while I feel like his face looks a little bit too sort of perfect or a little bit too smooth. For some reason, I think he looked a little bit better in like Bride of Chucky and stuff like that. Somehow he looked more practical. I'm not sure why. But either way, you know, they still do good at the, you know, the animation with, you know, his movements and stuff like that. But something's a little bit off about it to me, just here and there. Another little issue I have, at least with Curse of Chucky. You remember how Seed of Chucky ended, you know, with Chucky's severed arm, you know, being delivered to Tiffany and Glenn or Glennetta, you know, in the box. Now we have Tiffany. You know, I like the Tiffany reveal at the end of Curse of Chucky, by the way. That was awesome. I'm sure if you've seen it in theaters, it hopefully got some kind of crowd reaction, at least from one fan in the audience or something. But yeah, so it's odd that Tiffany would just be working with Chucky again and, you know, dropping him wherever to build up what he's doing or to take care of, you know, personal ties and stuff like that. Feels odd that Tiffany would be working with him again. It's kind of weird. I know they sort of have like this undeniable sort of attraction and, you know, bond with each other, I guess, like the Joker and Harley Quinn, but I don't know, it just seemed to jump, like it wanted to, you know, almost reboot itself. I don't know. I don't want to say that. Because this one, you know, Curse of Chucky did bring it back to basics a little bit, like I was talking about earlier. But, you know, still, you know, it's obviously a sequel, just like Cult. So the Tiffany thing felt a little bit weird. But nonetheless, still like the callbacks they did have to the earlier films in both of these movies. And like I said, I do think Curse is a superior film, just the way it was made. It took a little bit more time with itself. Maybe I just like to throw back to the original premise, I don't know. But I did like Call of Chucky as well. Yeah, I like the whole institution setting. You know, I've really liked that in horror films in the past. You know, from like you know, Green Warriors to, you know, I'm sure we can all think of other ones. Ginger Snaps 2 is another random one. I just always like that setting. It, of course, obviously works well for a horror film for obvious reasons. And again, Fiona Dourif knocks it out of the park. Maybe even more so in Cult, because we see her. You know, she's a very broken woman. She's been there for so long. She's almost somewhat convinced that maybe she is, you know, just insane, and she killed her family and everything like that. We see that side of her, we see that kind of broken part of her, which she does a fine job with. But then, I'm just going to assume you guys have seen these films. If you're watching me 15 minutes into it, I'm assuming you've watched them. So yeah, you know, when she's eventually possessed by Chucky at the end of the film, we get to see Fiona sort of have those mannerisms, those Chucky-like mannerisms, that smile, the laugh, and she just nailed it. She was really, really cool. I think she did a wonderful job. She looks a lot like her father too. But yeah, she's beautiful, of course, and she's really on point with her work in both of these ones. I think I can't wait to see her in whether it's the show or another movie. I think Chucky could work really well as a show. By the way, you know, there aren't many details about it yet. It's not officially underway yet. But I think it could really work well in a network like Starz, although they just canceled Ash vs. Evil Dead, so I'm not sure. Also not sure if it would be a limited series thing or what, but imagine like an 8-part road trip, sort of like Bride of Chucky, but give it sort of the tone of Curse of Chucky, maybe. I think that'd be pretty cool. I don't know, who knows. But yeah, there were some kind of disposable characters in Call of Chucky, though, and I don't know, I wasn't sure how I felt about the whole Call of Chucky part of it, I guess. Yeah, I guess it's something different. I have to sort of change things up, like I was talking about earlier, kind of re-energize it. Yeah, I did like Alex Vincent returning as Andy, and I think they had to do that at some point. And he does an alright job. And it is kind of funny, you know, him having the head of the original Chucky there the whole time. Yeah, so it feels a little bit weird that we're not actually seeing the original Chucky going about and doing everything in Cult. Although it's his essence, it's, you know, it's still him, I guess, but yeah, I'm more so looking forward to the original Chucky head getting another body in a sequel or something. So it took away from it a little bit for me just because of that for some odd reason. And like I said, a lot of the characters in Call of Chucky are pretty disposable. I guess they kind of are in both of them. But in this one, they felt like a obvious body count. And in both these there aren't really any too memorable kills, I feel like. Although I did like the glass window one in this one, as well as maybe how Sister was dealt with in the first one, stuff like that weren't so bad. But I've always felt like that's one little thing about the Chucky films. They need to get a little more creative with the kills somehow. I'm not sure how. He's a doll, but I still did really like Call of Chucky, though. I like Tiffany being more involved. Of course, her name being Valentine, and her looking in on Nika and everything like that. I thought that was pretty fun, the way they tried to twist her head and sort of just mess with screw with her, like she was saying later. And like I said, Andy being brought back is a good call, and I really like Christina Lisa's appearance at the end as Kyle, from the second film. I really liked her in the second film. She was one of my favorite things about it. She's also going to be at that convention, by the way. So Andy had apparently sent her to torture the original Chucky head as well, which is fun. Although I watched Call of Chucky on Netflix, and Netflix apparently is pretty bad about after credit scenes, and she appears in after credit scenes, so I had to see it afterward. I had to look it up online. But yeah. So if I had to rate these movies as of right now, I'd rate Curse of Chucky about a B, solid B, and I give Call of Chucky a B minus. Although I feel like I could make them both a B, I think. They're pretty close for me. And I did get a lot of entertainment out of Cult, so I feel like I have to watch them again too. I do think I prefer them both to Seed of Chucky by a bit. Although, again, I'm not one of those that hated Seed or anything. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how they've been handling these past two films. I can't wait to see what they do next. Let me know you guys thought about both of these. Which one do you prefer and why? Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. I just butchered Chucky forever, and I'm sorry. Very sorry.